watching Western Mass.
The start of 2026 also comes with some new changes for SNAP recipients that could impact their benefits. Starting tomorrow, January 1st, tens of thousands of SNAP recipients must meet new work requirements to ensure they can keep them. Western Mass News reporter Madison Lasowski breaks it down for you.
The need is growing, yeah, for sure.
Jeffrey Oldmixon of Friends of the Homeless says that the number of people in need has been on the rise ever since COVID emergency expansion dollars went out the door. Luckily, the holiday season comes with plenty of people who are in the giving spirit.
Each year we do get a lot of support from the community around the holidays, and we're so grateful for that, especially from Thanksgiving through New Year's is generally the height of the giving season, and we're appreciative.
Meaning your help is going to be needed this new year.
As we move through the cold months of January and February, we're always looking for volunteers. We're looking for new warm winter coats, hats, mittens, gloves, that sort of thing. And of course, donations continue at csoinc.org/give.
Especially because starting on January 1st, Massachusetts SNAP recipients will face stricter work requirements. This will impact veterans, adults ages 55 to 65, and parents of kids over the age of 14, now requiring those groups to meet work requirements. The child care exemption rule for parents caring for children has also changed, now only applying if the child is under the age of 14, a change from the original age of 18. This will impact about 40,000 Massachusetts residents, subjecting them to the new rules, requiring registration, job searches, and participation in training.
I think the important thing to remember with the SNAP work rules is that the vast majority of SNAP recipients do work. What's challenging perhaps is the notifications and the need to reassert those valid exceptions.
Madison Lasowski for Western Mass News.